Hi everyone, it's Brandon coming to you again with another very short training video today, more of a reminder video than anything. This is something we had to do quickly. It's going to be just a few minutes long. Well, we had to get it out quick, so that's why the production value is not nearly as good on this one as we've had on past videos. What I'm here to talk to you about today is something really brief. It's about, I guess the technical term is diesel particulate filter regeneration. From here on forever forward, we're going to call it regen. You probably heard that word kicked around quite a bit. To start with, what is regen? Just to give you a very quick overview of that. I'm going to be doing some share screens here so you can see some pictures and stuff. Regen is something relatively new. About 2010, the EPA came out with some new standards that all truck manufacturers had to follow. So this is a process that's actually in the motors of newer trucks. The thought is that it'll reduce emissions here. Essentially what happens is that there's a additional filter system on newer trucks in the engine. And when that filter system has reached a certain level of saturation, catches diesel particulate, other emission, things like that, the engine will blow superheated air through that filter system to burn off all of those emissions that have been caught in there. So that's essentially what it is. So most of our trucks actually do have regen on them. There'll be a couple older models that don't, but every truck that's being manufactured from 2010 onward is going to have regen on it. So this is something we're all just going to have to get used to, even if you haven't been in a truck that's had it yet. What you need to do in terms of regen, thankfully, it's very little, but it's very important, because if we don't do this right, it'll cause significant non-fixable damage to the truck engines, okay? So there's going to be a couple things you have to keep an eye on. First, you just have to monitor a few lights and switches that'll come on your dash here. You'll see your engine warning light come on, and then this symbol that I put up, this yellow symbol here, you'll see that it's not going to look exactly like that in all trucks necessarily, but that's somewhat of the universal symbol for regen. That's the engine telling the driver through this light on the dash, it's time to regen your engine, okay? And when this light comes on, you must regen as soon as you practically can. You don't have to do it within the next 60 seconds necessarily, okay? But you have to do it within the next 20 to 30 minutes at the most there. If you ignore these lights and keep driving the truck without doing a regen, that's when the saturation level inside those filters is going to get to a critical point. It's going to cause extensive damage to the truck there. Here's another shot of what it might look like on your dash. You see the engine warning light, and then this little regen symbol there as well. So when this light comes on, that's the engine telling you it's time to regen, okay? First is going to be a check engine light, usually with this regen light. And if you ignore it, the engine is going to start getting in a more serious situation, and it's going to come to the stop engine light. And eventually, if you keep ignoring it and keep running the truck, the engine's going to shut itself down. And there you sit. And we have to send a tow truck out to you. And by that point, all hope of doing repairs or anything is gone. We're just going to have to go right to replacement. So again, when you see a symbol kind of like that, you need to get over, find a parking lot or something in the next few minutes, and go through the regen process, okay? Now, to go through the regen process, on most of them, again, not all, they're going to have a switch that looks somewhat like this. It's just a switch that'll have the actual regen symbol on there. Pull over, put the truck in neutral, put the parking brakes on, and hit this switch. And then from that point on, that's really all you need to do. The engine's going to take care of itself at that point, and you're going to hear RPMs probably building up, so the engine create enough heat to blow through those filters to burn it off, okay? Many trucks have a bypass switch or a bypass option. Do not use that, okay? There's no set of circumstances where we want to bypass a regen, okay? Because if we do it, then we're going to keep pushing the truck. The filters are going to get more grind down, and it's going to cause the damage that we're seeing here. Not a big problem yet, but over the last couple of weeks and months, we've had some trucks that we ignored the regen. Drivers keep pushing it. They actually had the bypass switch in the trucks. They bypass it, and over time, and not a lot of time, that engine just gets too gummed up and it shuts down, and we have to do a lot of replacement there. It causes a lot of downtime and a lot of replacement costs. Okay. Some trucks actually will allow you to do a regen while you're still moving. Not all trucks, but some will. But in order for the engine to do that, you have to be moving at a pretty good rate of speed so the engine can keep its RPMs high enough and create the heat. So something like an interstate run for about 90, 100 miles or something like that, you could probably do it. And the engine will tell you that too. You could probably do it on the run, but if you're running just a few miles back and forth, which unfortunately a lot of our jobs are like that, it's not going to let you do that on the run. Okay. Again, do not bypass the switch. Once this comes on, you have just a 20 minutes or so to find a spot to do this. Okay. Don't panic if the lights come on. Okay. You have time. You don't have a lot of time, not as much as you think. If you start seeing morning lights in the morning, 2 or 3 hours, that engine could be smoked. Okay. If you continue to ignore it. If you have any questions, and I'm certain there will be plenty of questions, especially as this light comes on, and this is kind of a newer system that's in trucks too. So sometimes the light comes on, it doesn't let us do a regen. That's a warranty issue we've discovered through Freightliner. If you have any questions while you're out there in the field or need clarification on anything as things are actually happening, call into dispatch or call the shop. Multiple guys in the shop can explain this better than anybody else in the company, and frankly, anybody else in a lot of companies. Actually, they give you a better explanation and can walk you through certain processes. Okay. As always, if you have a question, ask a question. I know this was a little short and it was really to the point here, but we've been seeing a bigger problem with this and we want to get a handle on this before it comes out of control. Appreciate your time. Thank you.